I'm going to show you how to maintain the knee to belly position based on two common things that my partner is going to do to try and defend. So first of all, let's talk about just how to get the most out of knee to belly. They call it knee to belly, but it should really be shin to belly. Laying my shin down diagonally from his hip up towards his chest. And my foot that's on the same leg that's knee to belly, it's not on the floor. So these toes here are actually connected to the hip. If I change the angle here, and then later we can zoom in on this, you'll see when I'm in knee to belly that my toes are connected to his hip, but they're not touching the ground. It's like I'm tracing the contour of his hip with the top of my foot. So, applying proper knee to belly, I'm stepping out with my other foot, and that knee stays pointed up towards the ceiling. If that knee is pointed towards the ground, or if it's on the ground, that means some of my weight is on the floor and it's not being used to pin out, okay? So it's not as efficient. So that knee is up, toes are off the floor here, shin across the belly. Now my inside hand is pressing on the far shoulder. My outside hand is pulling up. I'm always encouraging Al to turn over to his belly from here. If I do it the opposite, I encourage him to turn into me, which is where he starts coming up on my leg to wrestle, re-guard, all that kind of stuff. So I'm pushing on the far shoulder, pulling on the close one. Now, one of the first things he's going to try to do is he's going to try to grab my ankle that's on this side that I'm on knee to belly and just push it between his legs. So it looks like this. We're here, and he pushes it right between his legs. Believe it or not, from here, he's put me in his half guard. He actually has attacks where he can start putting me on my back from here. It can be a bad day. So we can't let him control our ankle between his legs. I have to make a quick movement. As soon as he touches my ankle, my other knee comes up on his belly. I point my toes towards the ceiling as I windshield wiper out my legs to the other side, and I step out. Again, he touches my ankle. My knee comes up on the belly first. Then I point my toes up to the ceiling to avoid the guard. I come out to the far hip, and I stick my leg out. This entire thing is extremely uncomfortable for Al. So just kind of keep that in mind, the size of your partners and stuff like that. But it's something that kind of everybody needs to know. So just work it to your partner's tolerance. When you do it a little bit faster, it looks like this. He touches my ankle, I make that quick transition. He touches my ankle, I make that quick transition. So that way, even though what he does is really fast, I can always be faster. Now the second thing that he's gonna do is put his hand on my knee and push my knee straight off of his belly. Just like that, yep. And again, he's coming up to the single leg, maybe replace his half guard. So I have to make another quick movement. This one is exponentially harder than the first one, but again, it's another crucial tool. So the good news is you can actually work this one on your own, either with a dummy or without. So I can show you how to do that too. So here's the cue. He puts his hand on my knee, I step over his head. My heel is still close to him. As he pushes my knee off, he has to expose his back off the ground. So keeping my hips as low as possible, I switch my other knee into his belly. Now from here, my weight is on his belly, so I can easily kick my leg around the head. If he were to stay in this position with his back exposed, that would be a great opportunity for me to attack the back. Chances are, he doesn't want me to take his back, so he flattens himself out again. So he puts his hand on my knee, I step over his head. My heel is still close to the body. As he really makes an effort to push it off, he exposes his back, and I switch my other knee into his belly. Now you can use your hands as much as you want at first, but eventually we want to get to the point where we don't have to use our hands because that makes a quicker transition. So hand goes on the knee, step, he pushes it off, I switch, and I kick my leg around. Puts his hand on my knee, I step, he pushes, switch, turn around. Again, use your hands as much as you want. Hand on the knee, step over, okay, good. Until you get your balance down, okay? A little faster now.